Hi, Salam Alaikum. Sulaiman Rahim here. Welcome. Breaker of the Seven Seals, Messenger of the Covenant. Critical Analytics. Another War Talk session. Today we're going to concentrate on Armageddon. Where's Armageddon? What is it all about? The AL-INJIL reveals to us exactly what Armageddon is all about. Most people have no idea what it's about. They've heard of it. There are stories about it, some of them, right? Sounds utterly ridiculous. Some sounds fantastical. Some sounds remote. Hundreds of years away. And then most people probably don't even think about it. But it's real. And we're going to talk about it a little bit because you're in it. And you will come to find it out in a few more days. So we're going to talk a little about the sequence, what it's all about. You know, like, if you take a rubber band, you pull it, right? It wants to come back together. So only one or two things will happen: either snap, come apart, or the tension becomes so great. You know, if you pull it, you snap it, or the tension becomes so great, it comes back together forcefully. And that's the nature, that's the essence of what Armageddon's all about. Because we've been pulled apart for the last 500 years, going back 50,000 years. But for the last 500 years, the original nation, which is the center of the universe, we are the creators, the God, been pulled apart, see, by our enemies, Gog and Magog. See, they're the personification of the force that's pulled us apart. They're the personification of the force that pulls us apart. See, we don't play around with superstition and spirits and spooks, the spirit world. No, we personify. See, we're creators. We personify all the forces. See, so you can see and recognize them. See, the force of good, the force of evil, whatever. See, the angels represent a force. The jinn represent a force. The dragon represents a force, right? The devils represent a force. The demons represent a force. So all the forces are visible. See, you can touch them, you can see them. That's what we do. But they're trying to make you think they're invisible because they're trying to hide their identity. Oh, you can't see the devil? Who's telling you that? The devil. You can't see demons? Who's telling you that? The demons. You can't see the jinn? Who's telling you that? The jinn. You can't see Satan? Who's telling you that? Satan. So they have you in this dream world, this belief matrix, see, that you've been in for quite some time. You've been in this dream existence for 35,000 years. So they took you off the mathematical standard. Because mathematics is the only true religion. If you see, actually there was never a religion to begin with. The idea of a religion came up 35,000 years ago with Buddhism. There was never a religion to begin with. See? Because there was only reality. But now they tell you there's reality, and there's reality. Wait a minute. There's reality. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. There's reality. No, you're not getting to retake reality and religion. Think about that. There's reality and there's religion. Oh, wait a minute. Because wait a minute. Hold on. Think about that a minute. There's reality and there's religion. what's this religion? I mean, this reality. What's wrong with reality? Because religion is supposed to be a reality. You see? But they tell you, oh, there's reality and there's religion. Then what is this religion? It has nothing to do with reality. It's something has no impact on reality. But they tell, oh, well, the spirit has an impact on reality. You know, you can pray and call it and command. You can command this religious, this spiritual reality, right? You can command it through prayer. You communicate with it through prayer. It's all bullshit, brothers and sisters. They're put a scam on you. Because there's reality and there's religion. Then what the hell you need the religion for? Why not just do reality? Because reality is all mathematics. See, that's the truth. See, when they tell you it's alternate reality, because that's what religion is. That's why it has so many of them. Because only one reality, right? The same forces that affect the sun, affects the stars, affects the planets, affects you, affects the universe. The same forces. There's only one reality. But there's multiple religions. And they're all adverse to each other. They tell you there's only one God, yes, because only one God, because only one, that's what they're telling you. They tell us only one reality. When they say only one God, that's what they mean. They don't mean, one personality. Because then they say, we. Well, I mean, hold on. How can they tell you there's one God and then first we do this, we do that? How do we come in with the one? See? There's only one God, but we. And this one God is a we. See, it got you all confused. Because what they're telling you is there's only one reality. Because we all are gods. Isn't that what Jesus said? Said we all are gods? So if he said we all are gods, isn't he saying there's more than one God? If he says, have you heard we all are gods, isn't he saying there's more than one God? See, you can tear that Christianity stuff, that Buddhism stuff, and that Sunnism stuff, you can tear it to pieces. That's why they will never ever debate with me, because it tears stuff to pieces. Because right there, that kills that whole idea about, because even in the Quran, well, there's only one, there's only one. But then they start talking about we. Who's the only we that's doing all this stuff? Who is the we? Because if we're telling you there's only one reality, but you got all these alternate realities, all these religions out here that don't affect anything. You can't show me any religion that produces anything, that produces a car, a television, even digs a well, or anything. You can't show me that does anything, except you just believe in it. And you pretend that you can control it through prayer. But you're walking around sad and suffering and everything else, but you control it. You control all these powerful forces through prayer. That's what you're telling me. See? So you tell me, I'm going to ask you right away, are you an idiot? Oh no, man. What you mean I'm an idiot? I'm calling an idiot, man. You're mocking my religion. Well, wait a minute. You said that you control and you everything is possible through prayer. Right? And you want things, and you control these things through prayer. See? But you said, well, I asked for a Volkswagen Beetle, and I got it. Then I'm going to say, well, what's your IQ? 40? They say, 140 is like a genius or something. You must be down there like the 10, 20 level. Because if it was me, and I knew prayer controls this powerful spiritual reality, I would be praying for a damn Volkswagen Beetle. Pray for $1 million. I pray for $1 billion. Right? If God answers prayer, Why would he answer a prayer for $1 billion? Because you ain't going to do that. Because you know it's not going to happen. Because you know it's all bullshit. In your mind, you know it's all bullshit. See? That's what Armageddon is all about. See, to stop the bullshit. Because all this is to take and keep and to take and keep you thinking analytically. Because the analytical mind, right? That's what's ruling the world right now. The analytical mind it pulls things apart. The spatial mind pulls things together. See, pushes things together or pulls things back together. Analytically, they work. Everything has the opposite. And we have two sides of our brain, spatial and analytical. But we kept the analytical under control for forever. Until now. The analytical has manifested itself, has personified itself. Dr. Yaku personified the analytical mind. And now it's unbound. And it's pulling us. See? It says, the Quran, I will raise a beast from the earth that will speak to you. Who is that beast? The Sunnis have no idea. But they know everything. See, they're going to tell you, you better believe in Sunnism or it'll cut your damn head off. It's okay, what I'm supposed to believe in? I'm supposed to, what angels? I don't know. Where's Allah? I don't know. Where's Jinn? I don't know. Where's the job? I don't know. What the hell are you telling me to believe in? What am I supposed to believe in? I mean, you don't know what anything is, where it is. What the hell am I supposed to believe in? See, it's stupid. But I'll cut your head off if you don't believe in it. Adam is supposed to be ruling the planet right now. They tell you Adam was made to make men shed blood, which he was. But they said, no, we all are Adam. And then that come right before they can finish saying that, they say, the prophet said we all were born Muslims. Isn't that a contradiction right there? Unless you're saying Muslims are made to make men shed blood. So we got this pulling force, and the Quran tells you that's Gog and Magog. Gog and Magog make mischief in the land. See, it's telling you. It says Adam was made to make mischief shed blood. But it tells you Gog and Magog make mischief in the land. So they must be Adam. See? But the angels are supposed to submit to him. But we can't see the angels. I can't see them. Some say it's so small, they sit on his shoulders. Yet, they were supposed to submit to Adam. I was supposed to rule. How can you rule something that you can't see, you can't talk to, you can't touch? How can you rule it? Then I mean, Adam's supposed to rule the invisible. He's supposed to rule this invisible kingdom that you say exists, but he can't even see it himself. It's total nonsense, but why do you believe in it? Because everything I say is absolutely true, and you can't contradict any of it. So, well, we just got to believe in it. Okay, well then, Hindus say the same thing. So, why I got to go along with you? I can't go along with them. Well, they believe in many gods, bro. Do they? Right? You keep saying we. Who is the we? Tell me who that we is. Because it says, and we said to the, wait a minute, they can't be angels, right? It said, we said to the angels. If you say, we said to the angels, that means we control the angels. So in your theology, right, you're saying there's angels and then there's Allah. So if the we ain't Allah and ain't the angels, then who in the hell are they? Who are they? Because they the ones commanding you, the angel, to submit to Adam, and they says, my Lord says to the angels, I'm going to place rule in the earth. So they must be the one that's doing that. And it sounds, if I understand anything about grammar, means more than one. We're God. You know, I'll cut your head off. The logic says something's wrong with that explanation. Because tell me who we are. If they're not the angels, and they're commanding angels, see, but yet still, the angels supposed to be listening to Adam. So they said, we told angels to submit, so they commanded angels to submit to Adam. So now they giving control of the angels to Adam. See, it's contradictory because it makes no sense. There's no contradiction in Allah. There's no contradiction in mathematics. See? So all this is designed to keep you confused until they eradicate you. Because you are what being pulled apart. You're the one that's submitted, right? And all this is first to pull you apart. That's what Armageddon is all about, because now, right, they pulled as much as they can, and they wasn't able to break you. They wasn't able to snap that rubber band. They pulled, and this rubber band was strong enough, because if you're pulling it, right, if you're strong in the rubber band, you snap it and snap into it, then it's broken. But if you can't, after a while you keep pulling it. The more you pull, the stronger the tension in the rubber band becomes. And you pull until eventually, right? If it's so much, and to keep it hard, to keep it extended, you gotta keep applying pressure to keep it out there. You gotta keep applying tension, right? Force to keep it extended, right? You gotta, you can't just hold it there. You gotta keep, if you pulling the rubber band, you pull something like you're pulling it, right? You know that you can feel it's pulling back, and you gotta keep applying strength. In other words, and that your muscles start hurting, weak, because you gotta keep applying force. And when you can't apply force in it enough anymore, that snaps back together. And that's what's happening, because Gog and Magog cannot produce enough force to totally snap us, to break us. They tried. So now the rubber band's coming back together. That's what Armageddon's all about. Because everything, see, they pull the whole world apart. They pull Africa apart. They pull China apart, right? They pull Russia apart. Russia's part of their situation, right? But Russia's more eastern, but they're still part of the situation. But they put all these, they pull every continent, all the people, they pull apart. The Chinese, everybody. And what you see right now, everybody's trying to come back together. China's trying to pull their pieces back together. Africa's trying to pull their pieces back together. India's trying to pull their pieces back together. Everybody's trying to come back together. And the original nation is now talking about coming back together. See? Because Adam's losing his grip. He doesn't have the strength to keep us apart anymore. And that's what Armageddon's are fundamentally about. Because once remember you holding that rubber band out there, and you're holding it, you pull it, and all of a sudden you keep pulling the strength, but it won't break, but you gotta keep putting it in. After a while, your muscles get tired, and you can't hold it out there anymore. All of a sudden, snap, it comes back, bam, and that's what happened. Come back and snap like that. And Armageddon's coming back like that. So it's coming fast and suddenly, because everybody they already tell you. China already told you they're going to take back Taiwan. I don't care what America says. Nobody ever talked to America like that before. No one ever talked to America like that before. Not even in the last 5 years, no one ever talked to America like that. And even the last 2 years. And I've been telling you about this for 30 years. See? About the goat and the ram. See? Everybody's telling, we don't care what you do. We don't care what America's opinion. See? Everybody's trying to come back together now. They pull them back together because everything's coming back together. So as it was in the beginning, so shall it be in the end. Everything's coming back together. That they pulled apart because they're the reason why it came apart. And they're what's holding it apart. They're the ones that are keeping this unity between them and their demons. They got demons. We're not only one. We're plagued by demons more than anyone else. But the whole world is plagued by demons. You go to South America, those people down there were dark-skinned people before they came over here. Now they're all light-skinned. They didn't get light-skinned because the Mexican, the Chinese, the Spanish brought their women over here because the men raped the women. You go to Guam, it's all light-skinned people there, and they actually got the pictures of the original people in Guam, and they had nappy hair and black people. They ain't like that now. This place the demons are roaming the planet. But you never knew what a demon was before I told you. You saw some spiritual being out there. I'm telling you. And the angel explains everything. Everything. We turn the lights on. Once you start learning the angel, the light switch comes on, and all of a sudden, all the invisible becomes visible. Because it was visible all the time. Your mind just could not see it. See? Because they trick your mind. It's like you hypnotize someone, and they see something that's right in front of their face. You can hypnotize someone like that. And they've hypnotized you that way, because now you think all this invisible was right in front of your face. See? When they beat your ass and put you in jail and beat you down, was that invisible demons doing that? We have 465 years of being terrorized by America. Was those invisible beings doing that? Was any ghosts come and visit you? Who was doing it? Who was treating you? Who was treating you like beasts? Beasts were. Who was treating you like devils? Devils were. That's how you know they're devils. I mean, why can't you just call them what they are? See, they don't want you to call them what they are. If you act like that, if you walk like a dog, you talk like a duck, you must be a duck. Well, if they walk like a devil and talk like a devil, they must be devils. How do they treat us? How do they treat the whole world? But no, we can't call them devils anymore. Who's telling you that? A demon. A demon is telling you we can't call them devils anymore. Because he's a demon. His father's a devil. So obviously he's going to tell you that, oh, we can't call them devils. He's hugging and kissing on them. But he's telling you he's representing Elijah Muhammad. You ever seen Elijah Muhammad hug and kiss on the devil? Ever? The lessons give you any kind of hint that that's possible? Is that the way Master Muhammad talks about him in the lessons? So why are you buying this? Because most of you that's buying it are demons. Most of the people sitting up there call themselves in the NOI, they're demons. It says Peter would fill the temple with demons. He filled his church with demons. That's what it says. I'm not going to a full explanation there, but that's what happened. That's what you have over there. And so now we're getting ready to separate those demons out from the saints, because they're plagued. You see, the man, in Mark, it says that the nation of Islam was so plagued by demons that it was self-defeating. It would hurt itself. Right? It was beating itself and hollering and screaming because it was totally controlled by demons, and it was made that way until Suleiman came and cast the demons out. Because it said the demons will overcome them. It says, son of perdition will overcome them, will make war with them and overcome them for 42 years. Who is the son of perdition? He overcome with his mouth. That's Aaron. Aaron was known for his mouth. That's the only attribute in the Bible and the Quran. And that's why I refer to him as the mouth in Daniel. So what does all this have to do with the war Armageddon? Because that's what it's all about. The fundamental aspect of what it's about is us coming back together, and God can make God resisting. And their God, Satan. See, that's who the God, it tells you, the God of this world is Satan. So if Satan is the God of this world, if the most powerful country on the world was not under his submission, under his control, what kind of God would he be? God means force and power. That means he has control. That means who is controlling the planet? God, America's high in hell is Satan, the God, and America is not under his rule, being controlled by him. Or then you say, America's the force for good. Really? Where? Was the force for good for us? We experience what these people are about for almost 500 years. Did you experience any angelic treatment from them at all? See? Well, the Bible was given to them as a guidance, the sealed Bible. But it tells you the truth of it is sealed within it. Anyway, let's go more into the physicality of the Armageddon. See? Well, I want to get an understanding of what it's about, the fundamental aspects of Armageddon. With the spirit behind it. See, what it's all about. See, then we like coloring books. You get the figures, then you got to color it. See, so now we put some color on it. Once you understand what's happening here? Everything is coming back together now. Because now we have the strength to pull things back together. Because they tried to pull that rubber band apart. They tried. But it was too strong, and now it's come back together. There's nothing they can do about it. But their resistance is what the reason for war Armageddon is, their resistance to that rubber band come back together. Because they're the personification of the force that pulls it apart. Understand that word personification. See, it's just like if you have a pot on the stove, and you got the fire, and the fire is what heats the water up, right? But say you gave that fire personification. It means now you put it in a form of a person, right? So in other words, that person would be the one that would be able to cause that water to heat. You wouldn't see any fire, you see that person. And that person would have the ability to maybe run around there fast enough, right, to heat it up or whatever, but whatever his nature is, right? Maybe be a fiery being or whatever, but that person would be the one, right? You wouldn't see a fire, you see the person, and the attributes of that person would have an effect, right, to cause water to boil. See? Maybe that's not such a good analogy, but I think you understand what I'm trying to say here. See? Well, another way to put it, but maybe it's a better analogy. Say, for instance, right, you have wintertime. So wintertime, right, it snows, it gets cold and everything else, right? So instead of having winter, you give it a person, you give a personified. See, that's what all these so-called religions about, personified. They say, Hinduism, they personify this the attribute of God in the statue, whatever. Anyway, but say, for instance, okay, you personify the winter in people. So these people are cold people. See? And they run around pouring ice water on everybody, right? And stuff like that, right? So every winter they come out. So now you gotta deal with all these people that's ice cold, right? They're cold people, they throw water on, ice cold water on everybody and everybody else, right? Because you don't see you see them. And now, boy, because you personified this, that means if you see them coming, you can avoid them. So you can avoid the winter. See, because otherwise you can't avoid it. It's all over the place, right? But then personified, then you see the person, you say, oh, here comes one of them cold people, they come with some ice water, I can go another direction. That's why we personify everything. So we personify the negativity that we was going to go through, this energy deprivation. So if we're wise enough, right, you can see them coming and avoid them. Because if you see a devil and you hang out with a devil, right, then that's like the winter come and you don't like the winter, but you're gonna hang out with one of these winter people. So now you cold all the time, and they talking cold and they cold natured, right? And they I mean, I'm so cold. Yeah, but you could have walked away from that. See? But because you're stupid, you could have walked away from it. That's why I personify it. See? So therefore you have an option to avoid it as much as possible. In our situation, we could not avoid it over here for 464 years. I hope you understand that principle. I don't want to go keep beating on that one. Hope you understand the analogy. Because if you personify it, then you have the possibility of avoiding it. See? Those that came over here, we was in the middle of them, we could not avoid it. Those people that stayed away, right, they was able to avoid them. But we submitted, so we didn't avoid them. So we caught the full blunt, because they're the personification of the evils that we had to go through. That's an important concept, and I'm not sure if I address it well. I'm not a great speaker. I've already admitted that. I'm doing the best I can to try to get you to understand how we do things. So therefore, there's no spirit beings around. Everything you look, all the forces of nature that we have to deal with is personified in some way. Anything that can be personified. We can't personify gravity, of course. Well, I don't think so. We haven't. But all the major forces, right, we personify it. So we can take and look at it, and then we can study it, right, and learn how to handle it and control it. See, all the animals are personification of some attribute of us. So what am I saying here? See? Dr. Yakub made them, they're the personification of our energy deprivation that we suffered for the last 500 years. So if you understand that, it's like if you say you make these people, winter people, you make the winter of make winter, right? Personify winter, that means when spring comes, all the winter people just die. You see, they just disappear. Just like ice. Right? If you personify ice, ice can be strong and powerful in the winter. When summer comes, it just melts away. There's nothing you can do. There's no power in the universe can save it. And that's what's happening with them. They're the personification of our energy deprivation. We understand energy deprivation because the universe expands, right? Energy leaves from here and it goes spreads out. That means less energy here on Earth because all the energy that used to be on Earth is out there in the stars and everything. So now just imagine how much energy we had when all this, what the Quran says, when all the earth and the heavens and earth were just one. Imagine all the energy that we had then. But now we have very little because the universe is totally expanded. Now the energy is coming back in waves. It says it's momentous in the heavens and the earth, but it comes you but of a sudden. Now, if you understand that, universe, Earth has to be descending. The universe would have to be possible. See, all this mathematics. I'm trying to keep focus here because all of it's mathematics, and I could take each one of these points and embellish it, and just go on forever and ever with it. I'm trying to keep focus here. So energy is coming back. See, but so when we suffer energy deprivation, we didn't have enough energy to control civilization. We have energy to control ourselves, right? So we gave power to Adam. We made someone, and we didn't Lamborghini, they're the Volkswagen. So we made a Volkswagen Beetle that didn't require as much energy to maintain it. That's how we made Adam. He's weak. He's making me shed blood, but he's powerful enough. He has enough energy to maintain civilization. Like I said, bad civilization is better than no civilization. Bad water is better than no water. But the problem for him is that as when our energy deprivation problem, sickness, if you want to call that, is over, they're over. Because they're the personification of that issue. That issue no longer exists, they no longer exist. That's why they have all these problems right now. They lose control of their kingdom. They have control of the whole planet. Now they lose control, right? Because now we have enough energy to bring everything back together. And they're resisting. And they have a lot of power to resist. See? And that's what the issue is. Because that little brief period between winter and spring, that little brief period right there, that's where we are, right? See? So they still have power because it's still cold. It's getting warm, but still cold. See? But it's getting warmer. So in other words, it's getting warmer. That's better for us, right? It's not good for them. See? So therefore, they're trying to keep it cold. See? So as it gets warmer, our strength returns. But for ice, that weakens them. They start melting. And they see them melting, they're going to try to keep things cold. And that's what Armageddon's all about. But that brief window right there, it doesn't last long, but it's deadly. See? Because they have a lot of power, and they're going to use all their power they can to keep from melting. See? They're not going to be able to do it, but that's not the issue here. The fact they try to do it, right, means they're going to take a lot down with them in the process. And that's what we're trying to do here, is trying to minimize the loss. It says our people are lost because of lack of knowledge. We're trying to minimize that loss by teaching, putting this angel information out there, right? See, to give our people, warm them up, right? See, so they can recognize what's going on, right? So they can try to avoid it, whatever they can do for that little brief period while they resist us. See, because they're gonna try to freeze you to death. See, the icicle, he grabs hold of you, he can freeze you to death. And your trick is to keep him getting hold of you, because you can see him. If you can see him. But see, if you being in the spirit world, you can't see him, so you don't realize that icicle there, ice man, right, or ice woman, you don't realize they can freeze you to death when spring is almost here. They can grab hold of you and freeze you to death, and spring is almost here, because they still have power. They still have power. So these devils, they're tricking you. Oh, you can have my sons, you can have my daughters, you can live with me, free sex, everything. Because they get a hold of you and you marry them and everything else, they get a hold of you, they can freeze you to death, but they still got power. It ain't spring yet. It's getting there, but they still got power. Ice still got power. You see the ice melting, but it still has power. It's still cold. If they can grab hold of you, they can freeze you to death. And spring is almost right around the corner. And that's what we're trying to do. Brothers and sisters, with the angel, putting the message out there, right? Say, avoid them. Avoid the demons. We point them out to you. These are demons. These are them the jinn, them the devils. We point them out to you. All the different types of, there's snowballs, you got snowmen, you got icicles, right? You got hail. They come in all forms. We're trying to show all of them, so you can avoid all of them, because all of them can freeze you. Icebergs. See? And we're trying to show you all of them, and you ain't paying attention, you're going to get frozen to death. I hope that analogy kind of helps you. So let's move on quickly into how this thing's going to break out. It's going to be ignited by Master from Muhammad in the east. That says, Michael's angels go to war with the dragon and his angels. That's about to happen. False Israel, Gog and Magog, right? And Sunniism, right? Sunniism is the dragon. His angels are Gog, Magog, and false Israel. And it says, Master from Muhammad, Michael, is going to go to war, right, with his angels, which are the Shia. And they're on the collision course, because false Israel is saying they're going to fight, they're going to attack Iran no matter what. So you think Iran, ancient Persia, who invented chess, is going to sit around and wait? If you threaten them, you're going to punch them in the face, they're going to sit there and wait till you punch them in the face when they know you're serious. Not like stupid Saddam Hussein did. See what happened to him. So this will break out any day now. The angel tell us it's due. See? And the demons. See? That's part of Armageddon, because they're the icebergs over here, along with the devils, that keep pulling us apart. Remember, the whole purpose is to keep us separated. They're the tension force. See? But the core of that force, the strength, the major strength behind it, right? See, is false Israel. That's the core. That's the main force. That's the like the cornerstone force. See, once that's broken, right? Then see, it snaps back together. And that's why Master Muhammad has taken down false Israel, because that's not supposed to happen. Because they're telling you that can't happen. Why? Because they know if it does happen, that's the end of them. That cannot happen. They can hold it. No, they can't. See, they tell you false Israel cannot be taken down. That's what they mean. They said it can't be taken down. It wouldn't. Once it's taken down, there's nothing. The main force that's pulling is broken. See? So that's where it starts at. Knock out the foundation, the so-called cornerstone, if you will. See? Once that happens, right, they're kicked out. America and Britain is kicked. Gog and Magog, America and Britain is kicked out of the Middle East. They're leaving their God, Satan, right, unprotected, because they didn't want to protect them. They've been his security, right? See, they've been his security for 73 years. They've been his security, right? Their guards, or whatever you want to call it, right? Their personal security, their security guards. But now they have no security, and so now they take false Israel is taken, lay siege to, and taken down hard. During this time, there'll be famine in the land. When they say famine, what they mean is remember, this whole economy, everything is all mechanized and automated and everything else. All that's going to come to a screeching halt. You already see problems right now. See, ask yourself, has any problem that America's faced in the last 2 or 3, 4 years, have they solved any one of them? If they try to solve it, it make it worse than it was before. They try to solve that thing in Afghanistan, it got worse than it was before. Because they're being pulled apart. And we understand how pressure works. You understand that they're looking at individual things? No. Because because I said it backwards. They're being crushed. They're being crushed. They look at individual things, but if you look at every aspect of America and Britain is under stress and getting worse every day. The so-called same as false Israel. So once that happens, right, you have in Europe, in fact, you got the old Roman Empire, right? Eastern Europe and Western Europe. Western Europe is what they call the EU now. Total collapse. That's what it's talking about, chapter 18. Total economic collapse. That means they're starving. That's not going to happen to Russia. What's going to happen to them? Also here in America, you already see it's starvation on the horizon, famines on the horizon, because not only are they have distribution problems, but have growing problems. Because of the weather and everything else, it's destroying their ability to produce. Even if we weren't talking about Armageddon, they would tell you in a couple of years, they'd be starving in America anyway. The topsoil is almost all gone. The weather patterns is killing their growing season. So where they don't get this food and everything from? Plus the distribution, right, is network is all broken up. So right now you got problems in the stores right now. Plus you got a plague going on. So that's the climate. So and once they're taken out, America's gonna get in war with Russia. They also get in war with Russia is Eastern Rome, and EU is Western Rome. But they think it's called NATO. They think they're going to work on America's side. No, they're working against America. But the bottom, you got to look at it, the situation here. Europe is going to be in total economic collapse. That's what chapter 18 is telling you. That's the seed of great. Total economic collapse, right? Okay. Now, their energy. Part of the reason that economic collapse is because they assisted America in that war in the Middle East. Western Europe is totally, that's Germany, France, all them. They totally dependent upon the oil from the Middle East, from Arabia, so-called Saudi Arabia. Totally dependent upon the oil. But now who has control of the oil? The Shia has total control of the oil because they've already defeated the Sunni. Now they have control of the whole Middle East. And they cut the spigot off. So now, total collapse of the economy in Western Europe, right? The western leg of the old Roman Empire. See, the only place they won't be able to get fuel from America because America said Because first of all, they're not prepared to give anybody fuel because Mr. Trump tried to make America fuel independent, but he didn't get the memo because the whole reason why they don't want that because they was trying to use all of the Middle East so they could break Sunni Islam. So it backfired on them. That's why don't anybody use oil. Telling Europe don't use Russian oil. Don't use Venezuela oil. Just use Middle East oil because they wanted to drain it once it was over because they know the power in Sunniism over in the Middle East is oil, not the Quran, not the beads, right? Not their belief, but the oil. If that's going, they have nothing but sell but sand. They have no economy, anything else, and that's the end. See, that was their war they had planned, but it's going to backfire. So now, Western Europe, right? Western leg, old Roman Empire. They talk about Daniel. He had 2 legs, collapse, right? And they can't get any oil from America. They're desperate. They're hungry. They're desperate. The only one who will get them oil is Russia. Russia has plenty of oil. See. So whose side do you think they're going to be on when they get the war with Russia? They're going to be on Russia's side. That's the Eastern leg. The Roman Empire. Remember, everything's come back together. So the Roman Empire has come back together. And that's what Gog and Magog's going to be fighting. That's what it says, father against mother against daughter, father against son, right? Mother against daughter-in-law. That's what it's talking about. I'm not going to go into that detail here. Okay? That's the beginning. See, the beginning of Armageddon was the woman released, but that repercussion, see, we're talking about the repercussions of that, caused them to be the war in Europe. See? Because they're going to blame Russia. They're not going to say about those planes massed by Muhammad. They're going to talk about those planes that they can't tell the American public that they was defeated by so-called UFOs. Their Air Force was destroyed by UFO. They can't tell American force that. They're going to say it was Russia, because right now, as we're saying, Russia's helping them, helping Iran over there. They're helping Syria. You see how this fits together? So they're going to say, if Russia wasn't helping them, we would have won. So now they're at war with Russia. East leg of the old Roman Empire. See? And Europe, the western leg, is going to side with Russia, the eastern leg, because that's the only source of oil they're going to have, because they're going to be starving over there. And the only source of oil they're going to have is going to be eastern leg of the Roman Empire. So the Roman Empire is coming together on Gog. See, Gog represents the what do you call them in the Roman Empire? The ones, the Vandals that the Romans always fighting against. See, they eventually took down Rome. So you say history repeating itself. In a way, history is repeating itself. But anyway, that's what's happening. So now the war really ignites. So in the process of doing Europe fighting with each other, who benefits from that? China, right? That's Genghis Khan, descendants of King Genghis Khan. See, they benefit. Because as it tells you in chapter 17, there's a power shift from the crowns off the heads of the dragon, which is European countries, to the horns, right, of the beast, which represents China, which is the descendants of Genghis Khan. Fearless Genghis Khan, they was Genghis Khan. Nobody could stop Genghis Khan. The only one could do it was the Mongolots. They feared Genghis Khan. And you see how powerful China's getting now. See, China's a superpower, and that's what it said. That's what it's telling you. They're going to be the superpower. Because now Europe is fighting against each other. The shift of power will shift to them. And to India, what they call them, I forgot the name. Anyway, the old, I can't remember the names they used to call it, the Indian emperors, right? So now they have their power. Power shifts to them. And they come together. See, they were divided against each other. But who caused the division? Remember, the people that was causing division are now broken. And so now China and India comes together. Because right now they have animosity to each other, but when that power, but what's causing that animosity, right? What's causing animosity is God and Magog, but now their power has been broken because their God has been broken, Satan has been broken. The power behind the power, the driving force is broken, right? So now the power they had to keep things apart is broken. So now things come back together. So now China and India, right? I think they call them the moguls, right? I mean, that's what they call them, right? They come together, Genghis Khan, and to come together, right? And so now they're superpowers. See? And they first one they take out is Britain. Take them out first. The island country off of Europe. They take them out first. See? Because their first attack is going to be against Gog and Magog. But Magog is the weakest of the two. So they knock out Magog first. See? Leave Gog alone. See? Because Gog has no friends now. See? The old Roman Empire, East and West, is against them. See? And they're fighting with them. So while they're fighting with them, Genghis Khan and the Mughals, right? When I say the Mughals, I might be saying properly, I'm talking about India. They're together, and now they see God on his knees. Now they're going to take him out. Because right now, China's already threatened to take America out. And America looks like it's its prime, is in strength. What do you think they're going to do when they're on their knees? So now what they're going to do is they're going to take back everything that belongs to them. They're going to take back Philippines, they're going to take back Taiwan, they're going to take back, and Japan's going to go with them too. You think Japan, seeing America on the knees, is going to side with America in that situation? When they got this big old behemoth right next to them with nuclear weapons and all that power, and they're going to say they ain't stupid, and they ain't forgot about Pearl Harbor and Hiroshima and Nagasaki. See, everything's coming together. So whole sphere over there, that Oriental sphere is coming together. See? And they're going to unite with the Mughals of India, and they come together, and they already took out Britain. So now they're coming for America. Now what's happening in America? America at that point, they're already at war over there in Europe, right? And they're already at war here in America too, because now because once false Israel went down, right? Because the whole reason why false Israel was there, to keep us separated, was to make us think that false Israel was the true seed of Abraham. To offset what Elijah Muhammad was saying. But once false Israel goes down, which is not supposed to happen, that means we're the true seed of Abraham. That means we're the cause of all their destruction. Because we're the reason, right? Everything's come back together. We're the ones pulling everything back together. We're the source. We're the source of that rubber band that's pulling everything together. It's all us. See? We're the source of it. The rubber band's coming together, but we at the core of it. We're the ones that's bringing everything back together. And so therefore, they want to attack that, because if they can attack that, then they can solve the problem of this whole thing come back together. Because remember, their driving force, Satan, right? He's broken, right? So now the force, there was the strength, the tension in the rubber band is coming back together. But that tension's at the center, and we at the center. So if they can knock out, they can stop the rubber band from coming back together. Because they come back together, it's their destruction. So we're here, and they're going to attack us. And everything that looks like us, they ain't taking any chances. That means the demons too, because the demons is part of the process of pulling us together. Because they're devil's children. They just look like us and walk like us, but their purpose is to keep us separated, apart, separated and broke up. Same was in chain slavery. They was in the house, right? And the whole purpose is to keep us confused and working, loving, and helping massa. Because their masters see, they just look like us and walk like us, but they're not us. So they was keeping us separated here. That's why I said the whole world is plagued by demons, because that's their devils. They're the devil's tools, right? To do their job. Because in other words, it's like you're saying infiltrators. So you're saying infiltrators look like the people you're trying to destroy, so they can confuse the people. Because if you come in, they'll know right away what's going on. Remember I said personification? So in other words, if you know that everybody that's green is the one that's going to cause you problems. You say, well, I'm going to avoid all these green people, right? So what they do is they put on a costume to look black like you. So now you don't avoid them, and then you get trapped by them because you think that's one of you. And that's what demons are. Because now you personify and say, man, I'm going to stay away from devils. I ain't mess with no devils. See, so you wise enough to figure out, those devils I'm staying away from. I'm staying away from those winter people because I don't like cold, right? Because I know when spring comes, they won't be around. So I just avoid them. I'm wise enough to avoid them. But then they take and put on a costume, look like you, and then you, hey man, you hanging with them. You can't understand why you cold and you freeze. Damn, well, I'm still cold. I'm avoiding these people because they got you because they look like you. And that's why I set those demons up. And they all around us. You see them all over the news and Hollywood and every place else. But see, when they were attacked, they're not going to make a distinction. When the devil's attacked and not God attacked, he's not going to make a distinction. He's going to try to get everything black because he wants to break that force that's pulling everything back together. That's us. See? So now he's got a war going on internally and a war going externally, which he's losing over there. And now he's got his war going internally. Excuse me here. With blacks, primarily demons. 17 million of them. 34, Israel tells us, because of rape and with it, all that was doing chain slavery. 34, half of the people, black people in America are demons. So you got 34 million approximately. 17 million are tearing this country apart. Literally tearing this country apart. The country's starving. The food distribution chain is all broken, right? They're starving. They said women will be their own children, right? It says fathers will eat their sons, sons will eat their fathers. They got one story in there where it says this woman, right? She was angry because she saw a neighbor, and she went to her neighbor and says, I tell you what, we eat your son today, right? We killed and boiled your son today. Then tomorrow, right, we'll eat my son. And it was okay. So when the next day came, the woman hit her son. She was mad. See? And these stories ain't for nothing. They're going to be eating their own children. It says women that's pregnant, that's about to have babies, right? They're going to hide the fact that they're delivering from everyone. They're going to do it in secret. You imagine going through that in secret? Because they want to eat the newborn baby and the placenta, and they don't want anybody else to know. And they got to eat it raw because if you boil it, everybody's going to know. That's how bad it's going to be here in America. We don't Armageddon, a time of unprecedented trouble. People eating each other. Children be gray-headed because they cannot be around their parents because the parents will eat them. And they know that. When those that become aware before they get eaten, they can't be around each other because their kids, they eat each other. So they're alone, but they're out there and they're starving, but they can't go help from anybody. They can't go back to their parents. Can you imagine the situation? No, you can't imagine how bad the situation is going to be. But we're going to eat. It says, your people starve, but your people go hungry, my people eat. See, that's another story. I keep telling people, if you with the angel, you have no worry. Nothing spooky or spiritual about it. See, because they tell you those so-called UFOs, they're real. Anyway, Master Muhammad's playing this whole situation out. Anyway, so now you got that 17 million people hungry, angry, afraid because they've already been attacked. So they know America is attacking them, so they fighting, they tearing this country apart. People eating each other, starving to death. Right? See? At that time, the original people, right, they're coming together. Because Suleiman's pulling them together. So that's the resurrection when it said, oh, Son of Man prophesied to the four winds, and when he said they came to a great army. So now they're able to protect themselves, those that come that was able to come together, because like that. So we're trying to minimize that loss. That's why we're trying to get this information out there. So if you study AL-INJIL, you learn about it, then you should be about warning our people, because if you're just sucking it up, then you're wasting our time, you're wasting everybody's time. See, we're trying to prime the pump. So when they see an abomination of desolation, that's going to trigger all this things I'm talking about here in America, that we the true seed of Abraham, right? When they see it coming into it, see it about to happen, they can recognize it. Because if you don't recognize it, you're lost. They said, because when you see it, flee. Don't come back, get your baby, don't come back, do anything. Flee. That's how it's going to be an emergency. How critical it's going to be. So, but you have to recognize it to be able to flee. If you don't recognize it, you're trying to, what's that? Then by the time you say, what's that? It's over. That's what's going on here. See, the original people are going to be all collected, right? Well, the demons too. They all come together, but demons will cast the demons out. We don't want them. See, because when they attack, all the black folks come together. When they attack, remember, they'll go over there in Europe, America. Magog has been taken out. Britain's gone. America's alone. They'll go over there in Europe, right? Between the Roman Empire, old Roman Empire, East and West, Russia, and this with towards their friends, NATO, right? They already attacked all the blacks here, so now blacks have come together and we cast the demons out. So now demons, they between a rock hard place because we don't want them, because we had to fight with them. They kicked them out because they came together with us because of self-defense, like so-called in the civil rights movement. They worked with us and everything, but as soon as they got what they wanted, they said, "The hell with us, kiss my butt," and they moved on. So yeah, they come together without self-defense, but they want to control everything. We don't want them, so we kick them out. And when they kick them out, they ain't got no place to go. Because masters against them, and we against them, because we had to fight with them to get them out. We didn't just say, y'all leave here. No, we had to physically, literally kick their ass out away from us. Read in Exodus, right? Where you had to divide, where Aaron's followers, with Elijah and Joshua's followers, right? They were separated, and then they had to attack them and wipe them out, throw them out. See, so now you got America and all this turmoil, 17 million people running around here crazy. That's not to talk about the millions of Africans, right? That's also fighting because they attacked them too, because they was black. Everything was black. They was attacking. So they attacked them too. So now all this turmoil going on here. At the same time, America's trying to fight that war over there, and they can't get these black folks to help fight that war because now they already dissed them. So now you got all this conflict, and then you got the evangelicals. They went totally crazy because they can't believe that false Israel went down, because they know what that means. That means they really the devils, and that God ain't come to help them, come to get rid of them, and the hell that they was preaching about on us, that's where they're going. They're going ballistic. So you got all this confusion. They're tearing up everything. They're wiping out everybody, and if they catch anybody black, if you straggler, you dead. You're going to be cut down, eaten. That's the confusion you're going to see in a few more days. I'm not talking months anymore. You're talking about a few more days. That's confusion you're going to see here. A time of unprecedented trouble. It says, man's heart failing for fear of the things coming upon the earth, coming upon the European, comes in America, right? Because the powers of the heavens have been broken. What the powers? That means the power they had in the Middle East was broken. So it's broken now. That's what it's talking about. So now, if they fear things that's coming, how are they going to think when things get here? So now you got starvation going on here, you got people, cannibalism, the whole 9 yards. See? And then you got, because it says it's going to be 5 months. Because when we kick those demons out, right? It says it's going to be a 5-month plague. They be plaguing America, right, for 5 months. That means it's going to total chaos in America. You think riots and everything? Total. It ain't gonna be anything, because remember, it's not gonna be any food, water, and other stuff. People eating, people do whatever they can. They're starving, and America's trying to get back under control because they're trying to deal with this war. So you got all-out war. The Civil War was nothing compared to what's about. You have all-out war between the demons, the devils, evangelicals, even false Israels over here. See, because now they're going. You don't want to be wanted them, right, over here because after false Israel was taken down, because they hate those people anyway, and now they have no reason to use them, to love them anymore, because they failed, they destroyed, and so they're going. You think that you talking about what happened over in Germany? There's gonna be total confusion here. Total confusion. Babylon on steroids. See, and so that was gonna be America's main focus, is to knock all that out. And which they will. They succeed. They will wipe out all the demons, right? And wipe out the Africans this year. See? That's going to go on for 5 months. It'll take 5 months to do it. And once that's done, by that time, that's when Genghis Khan and the Moguls roll up on the West Coast. That's the GOAT talk about in Daniel. That's the Great War. See, that's what it said, the demons, right? They led the people into, said the demons led the people into the great war of God Almighty. That's what it says in Revelation. What it means, led them? Because they set the ground for it. Because they weakened America so much, right? They laid the groundwork for the GOAT to roll on in. See? And during this time, you got the NOI that was left behind, because at that time, Michael's already delivered us. So we're in the Middle East at that period of time. See, when Genghis Khan rolls up on the West Coast, we out of here. Michael has delivered us back home to the Promised Land, right? But it was 3 groups: those that was living in the Lamb's Book of Life, and then there was other two groups. One, the everlasting life. They woke up. Then was those slept in the dust. But they wasn't delivered. They woke up too late. Some everlasting life, some everlasting shame and punishment. Those everlasting life, that means how do you get everlasting life? They hear the tribulation. Because those are the ones that got to go through the great tribulation, like I said in chapter 7, right? They're the ones talking about Exodus. They're fighting their way to the West Coast, towards the Red Sea, right? See, those are the NOI, because they were allowed themselves to be tricked by Pharaoh Khan, so they got to stay behind. Read Mark. They was not allowed to leave when Jesus left. He said, you got to stay behind and minister to all those other people that you should have been ministering to for the last 40 years. That's all the other blacks left behind that didn't get the memo. See? So now you got to take and get them together and get their, and guide them and help them, right? Get out of here. They said they be through famine and swords. They got to go through all that hell, and they got to fight through all these people. See, they're not fighting actually with the demons and devils. They defend themselves. They're just trying to get the hell out of here. See, it's the demons and devils and evangelicals on them. They're the ones that are going at each other. The Nation of Islam, those people, right? They're just trying to get out of here, defend themselves, trying to get out of here. That's what's going on here. And when Genghis Khan rolls up here and the Mughals, right? China, India, the GOAT, right? Because the agreement they made with Master Prophet Muhammad, they opened the door, that's what it's talking about, the Red Sea. The Red Sea opened up and let them through, and then it closed in on Pharaoh's armies. That's the Great War of Armageddon. It's 2 great wars of Armageddon. That's the first one. That's bigger than all the other wars. This one, because God is going to be fighting for all his worth, because he can't. There's no win on this. In other words, he has to win. He has to win. There's no middle ground here, because it said the GOAT was extremely angry, and you see China's getting more and more angry every day. Genghis Khan was extremely angry with him. See? Extremely angry. So that's a great battle. They're going to throw everything they can at him. See, remember they've already got the demons out the way. They got the Africans that was here out the way, right? See, and everybody else that was everybody's focused. Everybody's hungry. They're still hungry. They're still starving. See, and not only when they roll up, not only is it going to be Genghis Khan and the Mughals, India, but it's also going to be, what's his name? Shaka Zulu? The terrible Shaka Zulu? See, I'm I'm just throwing some names out there. Those are the actual names. I'm trying to get an idea. Because that's the Africans that's going to turn chapter 17 is going to be alongside them. See? Because they came back together too. Africa came back together in two groups, non-Islamic Africa and Islamic Africa. And it says Obama is going to be the one that's leading non-Islamic Africa. Because those blacks that they killed over here, see, some of them still may be running around, but they're going to ally themselves, see, with Shaka Zulu, see, because they're Africans, they're fighting back. But they're pretty much wiped out too when they roll up. Say, all three of them together. And they come with blood in their eyes, and they remember all the stuff that Gog and Magog did over the last 500 years. See, they're rolling up on the West Coast. And America's in a basket case. See, they're going to fight with everything they got, but they ain't going to have much because they're weak. Most people are starving to death. Cannibalism, right? See? And their nuclear weapons are not going to work. But everything else will. See? And that's the great battle. That's the great battle between the ram and the goat, right here on the shores of America. That's where the great battle is going to take. It's going to be greater than the battle they had in Europe. See? And the goat was going to win. So they're going to crush the ram, stamp him in the ground and crush him. And they're going to destroy, burn up America. They're going to take everything they can of value out of this place. They're going to, all the people that are healthy, that have any health and you can strengthen it, they're going to take them out in perpetual slavery. And they're going to burn the place down, burn it all the way down. Most likely just nuke it, because they said no one will be able to live here for thousands of years. So anybody hiding in caves or hiding underground, they're going to get them too. That's the great battle. That's the great battle that's going to take place here. See, Master Muhammad is not going to be a part of that battle because he's using the goat to do that battle for him. It tells you in chapter 17 that he put the spirit in them to do it. So how did he put the spirit in them to do it? It tells you there. I just explained to you, right? Because China, India, and even Africa, now in Islamic Africa, is totally dependent upon the oil in the Middle East, totally. Who controls it now? Do they want their economies to go down just like the European economy crashes? No. They're going to do what they're told. You want oil? You got to go over there and take them out. All right, China's always got the largest military in the world anyway. And then India's got the next. So how does he put the spirit in them? You want oil? See, we're not going to send our people over there to do it. You're going to do it. That's the war of Armageddon. That's the big battle. And then once they do that, then they're going to roll over Europe. That's the Noah's flood. See, first they took out Britain, Magog, then Gog, right? See, Magog, then false Israel, then Gog, and then they're going to roll out. That's the flood. They're going to take out European countries. Once they've done that, only thing that's left is us over in the Middle East. And that's what says they're going to turn their sights on us. See, but first, before they do that, they're going to go to fight with each other. It says the great Shaka Zulu is going to come out on top. See, he's going to be in control of both armies, all three armies. Millions and millions and hundreds of millions of people. The angel says 200 million. It won't even be that many of us in the Middle East. But that should be that in their army, 200 million. Said these will make war with the Lamb. The Lamb will overcome them. That's the next big battle. There's two major battles in Armageddon. That's the last one. And they won't come on us like a storm. They won't come on us like a hurricane. See? But it says Master Muhammad's going to do something to them that's going to make their flesh roll off of their skin, roll off of their bones. See? But there'll be a battle. It says it's going to take 6 months to bury the dead. So we're going to battle. That's not necessarily Armageddon because We gotta when we place. Joshua is a warrior priest. So once we settle back, once we return back home, then we gotta take the land back because the Sunnis are still on that land. The Arabs are still on that land. The House of Saud, they fled back to India, but the Sunnis, they're still on that land. That's our land. They're still on it, and they're not giving it up. So we gotta bow. We gotta bow them. See, that's gonna be going on while they taking down America and everything else. We're gonna be handling our business over there. So once we take it and we're at peace, we have our land back, and we in the process of getting ready to move that sand and everything out the way. That's when Shaka Zulu, Obama, see, said, okay, I got the whole planet. See, because that's Lucifer. See, you don't understand all these things. That's Lucifer. Oh, that's Lucifer. That's who said, I'll make my throne, I'll be like the Most High. I set my throne in the north, deep north. That's where America. He became a president of America. He says one to ride on the white horse. He says, he went for a conquer and a conquer. He made two conquests, very ambitious. See? So he's an archangel, just like Michael's archangel. See? But he wanted to be the chief archangel. Well, Muhammad's the chief archangel, he's Michael. And they had a rival between them. So that's the final conflict. See, going head to head. See? And that's a great war. Because there'll be hundreds of millions of them coming after us. And there's going to be a physical battle, and there's going to be what Master Muhammad's going to do to cause their flesh to roll off their bones. That's the last battle. Once that battle is taken over, then Master Muhammad he's the God. He has total control. He's taking back his great power to rule all the nations with a rod of iron. The rod of iron is shield. Because remember, they're part of the European part, and the European part represents iron. And they call his rod of iron. He's going to rule the world with the shield. Iran and Syria. That's his. And Suleiman, right? He's got the elect. He's the high priest. See? So his throne will be in Mecca. But he's a high priest. See? For our throne will be in Jerusalem. He's going to control everything. See? Then you got Elijah under him. If you understand the angel key, right? Then his throne he's going to rule the Levites. See? In the continent of Africa. But Master Muhammad's going to rule the whole thing. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters, that's Armageddon. So, I made it clear enough to understand all this is going to take place right before your eyes. You're going to see all this before the end of next year, that's for sure. You're going to see some of it this year. And this year's almost over, so I tell you what to expect. See, I didn't talk about dangers of days that much, but that's the next great thing that's supposed to happen. Everything that says angels happen up to now, right? Because all is about this igniting that's supposed to take place in the Middle East, that war. Okay? But when he takes out false Israel, right? Also Suleiman going to take out the chief demon. That's Farrakhan and his demons here. See? In the West. And that's supposed to happen, right? Almost simultaneously, both those things. So you're going to see those things in a few days, brothers and sisters. So my job is to I know you're not paying attention, but you heard it. And every day it's going to grow in your mind because everything we talk about is coming clearer and clearer and clearer. So what we talk about is growing in your mind because it's being fueled every day. It's being fertilized every day. See, everything I'm saying, right? It's getting sunlight, it's getting fertilizer, all that stuff. Because everything I'm saying every day, right, is causing it to grow these ideas. Their ideas is failing. because it's not getting any fuel, it's not getting any nutrients, it's not getting any sunlight. So they keep talking about all this crap. But what we're telling you every day, when you see the news, you see everything happen, it's because it's growing stronger and stronger and stronger. So when you see the abomination of desolation, you'll recognize it and you'll flee to save your life, because that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to minimize that loss. Assalamu alaikum.